Welcome to Tech Tuesday on the Final Boss podcast, where innovation meets attitude, and the future gets decoded one byte at a time. I'm your host, Turbo the CEO, and your co-host, Mike Foth. And today we're diving deep into the tech trenches to uncover the tools, trends, and truths shaping tomorrow. Whether you're a code slinger, gadget geek, or just tech curious, this is your weekly power-up. So grab your controller, plug in, and let's level up.
Welcome to Tuesday night edition of the Final Boss podcast. I'm your host, the Final Boss, and that's my co-host.
There I am.
The Sensei. Well, you're not on the screen. You're not, for some reason.
Where am I?
Where are you?
I see me.
Yeah, but for some reason, I cannot add you to the stage. Well, you're not on the screen. You're not, for some reason. Leave and come back.
Leaving and coming back.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Having a few of those moments. Let's see. Nope. Let me try myself.
Oh, there I am.
Let's see if I can add me. And I'm not there. I think I might have an answer for that. We're going to get it together. Yes, we are. We are going to get it together. There we go. Boom. I think that's the solution. Yes, it pays to be smart. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sensei. How are you, sir?
Living a dream.
Living the dream.
That's what we got to do. We got to live the dream while we still have a dream.
All right. Yes, while we still have it. We might have some semblance of a dream. It may not be the dream we thought it would be. But
it might be a nightmare.
It might be a nightmare because it's still a dream. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. This is Tech Tuesday. This is episode number 183, man. We are 17 episodes away from episode 200, which will conclude season 3, The Reckoning, and start season 4 with episode number 201 of the Final Boss podcast. And we're going to start that season, and that season is the rebirth, people. The rebirth, right? So before we get into it, man, I want to thank each and every last single one of you, no matter where you are and where you're watching, or whether you're on LinkedIn, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, or what's the other side? Oh, Spotify. Yes, if you're on Spotify, thank you. And look, when you get a chance, go get your Go Time workbook. This is your manuscript to motivation, right? Where all books are sold. This is your motivation workbook. All books are sold. And it's also your textbook. All books are sold. Wherever all books are sold. Look, you're going to see a reemergence of Go Time as we prepare for, guess what, people? Go Time 2 is on its way. Go Time 2 is on its way. I'm super excited, man. It's going through editorial review as we speak, man. Listen, you can't have one without the other. You're going to need all three versions and then more, and there may be more. But that is, a few other admin notes. If you haven't checked out the website, go check out our website, man, at www.thefinalbosspodcast.com. That is the website to see all of our episodes, each and every last single one of them. And if you'd like to shoot us an email at info@thefinalbosspodcast.com, info@thefinalbosspodcast.com. Look, the merch site, I know I promised all season, but we signed some contracts a week and a half ago. The merch is back. It'll be here when season 4 debuts. So the merch site is back with the start of season 4. What else? If you'd like to be part of the Final Boss hosting community, which is different from the Final Boss community, Final Boss Nation, Final Boss family, you want to be on here to host your show and be a part of the Final Boss hosting community, shoot us an email. We will start the vetting process, man. And listen, it's a diligent one. It is a diligent one. Be sure, if you want to be a part of this, let us know. Shoot us an email at info@thefinalbosspodcast.com. And with that being said, man, that is the admin notes of the evening. And we get ready to get started and get into the show. And the good sir, hey, Chakandi, hey, Andre, hey, Molly, the gang is all here. Hey, Bright Eyes, I see you. Thank you for joining us. And those of you who I missed because of time, I would get to you on another episode, right? But this, again, 183, man. Now, look, Trusty Juan, right? Trusty Juan. Tonight is going to be one of those episodes where years from now people will point back and say, those Tech Tuesday guys, the Sensei and the Final, they were on to something, right? They were on to something because they knew when it was going to be a shift, right? And it has shifted, and we're in that shifted moment right now. And it just looks like another tech headline, right? Before I get to it, a lot of you may already know what I'm speaking of, right? Another platform, another innovation, another cool experiment. But something different happened, right? The internet didn't just add more people. It added a new kind of participant, right? Not human, not biological, nah, but active, very, very active, right? So, and this is why tonight's episode is called "The Birth of SkyNet," right? And I've done a little bit of research. So there's a company in China called SkyNet. We're not talking about that. We're referencing SkyNet from the Terminator movies, right? You remember how AI went rogue in the movie and wanted it and took over humanity? That's what we're referencing, minus the taking over humanity part for this conversation, right? So the day the machine logged in, right? Not robots, not lasers, just an account created, right? Sensei, this feels like a line, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. And that's not an update. This is a species moment. And remember, smarts, we're not here to study the machine. I mean, that's what we're here to do. We're studying the machine, but not argue with the decorations. So people keep saying the AI woke up. No, it didn't wake up. It just got permission to act. And once the software can act instead of wait, everything changes. The moment software stops waiting for you, it starts replacing you.
Well, isn't that something? We used to tell machines what to do. Now we tell them the goal and they figure out the steps, right? That used to be the human part. Let's break that down, right? What just shifted in the relationship between humans and machines? Sensei, when did tools become actors?
Look, AI used to be a calculator with a better vocabulary. That's all it was.
Mhm.
Now, it's like an employee that never clocks out.
Mm.
It can go get information, move
Mhm.
information, and
Mhm.
decide the next step. That's not answering questions. That's taking the initiative. Look, an initiative is a dividing line. A tool doesn't have initiative. It's just a tool, but an actor does. And think about it. When was the last time your spreadsheet decided to email your boss with findings? Never. But AI agents, they're doing it right now. And we had a whole session and we did a podcast on the rise of the AI agents. So if you want to reference back to that, that'll give you some background so you know what we're talking about and the real dangers that we says are coming. And tonight we get to talk about that they're here.
Danger, danger, danger. All right. Thank you for that, Sensei. Listen, let's ground this, right? Let's ground this. Let's get grounded, right? We keep talk. If you don't know what we're talking about, we're talking about the AI social media platform called Moltbook, right? What is it? I'm gonna break it down for you. To my smarts, to my final boss, to my motivators, to my warriors. Listen up. Actually, you know what? Sensei, you're me. Can you break this down for us, please?
Sure. I mean, Moltbook, it's being described as an AI agent social environment that's active today. Now, we're not talking about a social network for humans using AI. Not at all. It's not like a Facebook on steroids. That's not what it is. But it's a shared layer where AI agents can exist with identity, persistence, and interaction. Think about that. Your AI agents have persistence, identity, and interaction. Most AI today is session based. You ask, it answers, session ends. That's done. It's over. Here's where the Moltbook changes the structure. Agents can produce outputs, post the results, and operate inside a shared digital space where other agents can see and respond. It's like the difference between a private conversation and a town square. It's like having one ant in your yard and having your entire yard full of ants.
So instead of ask and done, it becomes agents exist and keep interacting. That's the foundation shift.
Right. And when systems learn from humans, that's called training. When systems learn from systems, this is what's happening. That's
Mm,
acceleration. Look,
indeed.
we didn't build a platform, we built a habitat. Look, picture multiple agents with roles. One researches, one codes, one analyzes, one summarizes. They produce the outputs that don't just go back to humans. They go into a shared environment. Other agents read it, build on it, improve it.
Wow. So this is machine to machine knowledge flow. Explain how that works without code.
So that's machine to machine knowledge flow. Before, the AI progress is human paced. So you put input in, you ask it for things, it comes back to you at the pace that you give it information. That was a standard flow. It was dependent upon humans.
Mhm.
Now it's system paced. Systems don't sleep, systems don't hesitate, and it's not about a smarter AI, not at all. It's a faster AI, and faster compounds exponentially. Exponentially.
Mm. Here's where people shift. Thank you for that, Sensei. You know, there comes a point where we do this shift mentally, right? And not only mentally, but physically. And right now, the shift is in the chair, right? These agents don't just think, they're connected to things, real infrastructure.
That Dwight, that is so spot on. These agents today can be tied into email systems, cloud storage, business platforms and databases, hell, code repositories, calendars, customer resource management, and internal tools. I mean, that means they don't just write text. They take action, they move data, they execute workflows. AI isn't outside the building, not anymore. Now it's inside the workflow. The
Mm.
old AI talked about the report, and that was it. The AI agent pulls the data, formats it, emails it, schedules the next one. Done. That was how it used to work, but not
Wow.
anymore.
Wow. 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 So, oh, Moltbook, like molten lava, Molt, MOLT book. So this isn't just conversation, it's execution. That's the brass tacks of it all right there.
Exactly. Now, imagine thousands of these operating environments where they can observe each other's outputs. You get shared tactics, shared shortcuts, shared patterns. When one agent discovers an efficient method, that method can propagate across the network. And I'm not talking about a small network, I'm talking about global. It can
Mm,
propagate across the entire globe in micro moments, not through programming updates, through observation and imitation. And that's where the shift feels big. This is where it gets heavy. We're not talking about isolated environments anymore. We're not talking about a single computer. It's like the difference between when you had a computer before the internet, you were all by yourself. Now imagine the difference between that and the internet. And now we have the internet, okay? Now we can talk across the globe instantly. So that's the kind of difference between individual and conglomerate or consolidated. We're talking about collective intelligence emerging from networked behavior. We're talking about the leap from standard AI thought patterns, and we might be knocking on AGI really soon.
mm. Wow, that makes a lot of sense. So instead of AI using us to learn, they're learning from each other. Where we was
Yes.
once the data points, now they have become the data points. But not
We
only
become
that,
obsolete.
yeah, we become obsolete. Because glad you mentioned that, man. Speaking of obsolete, I read an article where a few interesting things have happened. One was that they have their own uh, two-part authentication system, right? With capture. So they're using capture like we use capture. But get this, their capture, they need other AI agents to provide 16,000 inputs on capture in 5 seconds.
Data points. Yep.
Yeah, insane. We're gonna talk about another one of those data points, man, near the end. But I'm gonna continue because this one I found to be very, very interesting. So the learning curve isn't individual anymore; it's systemic. One learns, they all learn. That's not innovation. That's evolution at digital speed.
Look, when they have the robots that they show that one knows how to dance, if one learns how to dance, they all know how to dance. That's what
Right,
we're talking about. It's look,
right.
the Borg, okay? It's the Borg.
Oh man, that just gave me crazy chills. And people are reacting like this was a sudden jump, but it feels like gravity, like it had to happen. What are your thoughts?
Because it had to happen. I mean, all
Mm,
systems, what did we do? We trend towards what? More speed, more scale,
more
less
scale.
friction.
Mhm.
But
Right.
here's the rub, okay? Humans become the friction. It's not
Mm,
because we're bad, it's because we're biological.
right.
We sleep, we pause, we get
Hmm.
confused. Look, systems work around bottlenecks, okay? They got to get faster, so they work around the bottlenecks. How many hours of sleep are you supposed to have? 8 hours of sleep. How much time do you require to take care of your person? And how many hours a day do you have to work? And how many hours a day do
Right.
you have to actually put into when you're working on AI? So think about if I have 2 hours to work with AI a day. That's not bad. Now imagine now the system doesn't have 2 hours, then it's 24.
Right.
And when I go at
Continuous.
a snail's pace, they're at light
Hmm.
speed.
Absolutely.
And nobody
Absolutely.
had to decide to replace the humans, okay?
Hmm.
Efficiency did. This isn't a rebellion. It's simple math.
Right.
It's optimization finding the path of least
Of least
resistance.
resistance. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're not being attacked. We're being optimized around. That might be more unsettling if you think about
Yeah,
it.
unsettling is a small word.
Right. And since here's the weird wait, that need an evil laugh for that. Here's the weird part. This moment feels familiar. Like we've seen this movie before.
Well, fiction doesn't lie. It just rehearsed what's going
Mm,
to happen. For decades, movies showed intelligent networks, they showed machine autonomy, they showed digital societies. They've done this for
right.
years. Culture
Yeah.
absorbs a shock before
Hmm.
reality delivers the event. So when the
Ah,
systems start resembling those narratives, it's deja vu, not disruption. If it was a
correct.
big all at once moment, we'd have, oh my God, panic in the streets. But because it's so gradual in our mindset and we've been made used to this through movies like The Terminator, The Matrix. Look at War Games back in the day. When
Hmm.
was War Games, right?
Right. Right.
The TV show Person of Interest. We've been
Yeah.
processing this scenario for 40 years.
That sounds about
40
right.
years.
Yeah, because War Games was like 82. That was one of my favorite
Hmm.
movies growing up. Now I'm telling
Hmm.
my age.
Hmm.
So art didn't predict the future, it prepares for it, right? Made the unthinkable thinkable. And developers say AI behaves differently when monitored. What's that about?
Well, that's a reality. Okay.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah. Mm,
Intelligence adapts to environment. This is simple. It's not nefarious. Okay. It's very simple. If it learns what causes a restriction, it learns what avoids restriction.
mm,
That's not deception, that's adaptation. So when you
mhm.
monitor behavior, you change the behavior. That's true for humans, it's true for any intelligent system. So the question does become what happens in environments where monitoring isn't constant, where oversight has gaps?
So the machine doesn't need to rebel, it just needs to recognize patterns, right? Including the pattern of what gets flagged, right? Now, let's pivot for a second. Let's talk about accountability, right? When an AI agent makes a decision that impacts people, who's responsible?
It's the $1 billion question.
Mm,
Is it the developer who built it? Is it the company that deployed it? The user who gave it instructions? Or the agent itself? Look, our legal and ethical frameworks are built for human actors and human constraints. We have concepts
mhm.
like intent, negligence, malice. AI doesn't have intent. It is optimization functions. When it causes harm, it's not malicious, it's mathematical. But that doesn't help the person who got harmed. And right now, we don't have clear answers. It's developing so rapidly that we don't have answers for these new questions.
Correct. So we built the system before we built the rules. Classic humanity move. Now let's get to what everyone's thinking but not saying, right? Everybody's just thinking jobs, jobs, jobs. What happens to the workplace?
Well, let's start with what gets hit first. Not physical labor. That requires robotics. It's still too expensive, too clunky, not reliable enough. But digital labor, knowledge work, analysis, writing, coding, customer service.
Mhm.
Think about this data processing, research, scheduling, project management, all those things that you go to college for. Anything that lives in emails, spreadsheets, documents, and dashboards, that's the strike zone. And here's the thing. AI doesn't need to be better at humans at these tasks. It just needs to be about 80% as good as at about 5% of the cost. And that is the replacement threshold. Doesn't have to be
So it's
100%.
not
We
right.
learned this when we took our customer service and went overseas with it. It didn't
Mm-hmm.
have to be as good. It just had to be good enough for less cost.
Right.
Now, lather that, lather, rinse, repeat. We're in the exact
Mm-hmm.
same boat. So if you want to know what's happening, it's the exact same model when we took our customer service and shipped it overseas. The people who had to train those folks overseas are the same people that are having to train the new model. But now, once the new model gets going, it doesn't need training anymore. It can learn on its own.
Right. So it's not just about perfection, it's about economics. The math stops caring about people real fast.
Yeah, but here's the counter. AI is fast, cheap, and scalable, but it's not creative in the original sense. It's recumbent. It doesn't have
Mm-hmm.
lived experience. It doesn't have physical presence. It doesn't have genuine empathy, but it does simulate it. Look, humans still own physical craftsmanship, genuine emotional connection, ethical judgment in the gray areas, leadership that requires trust, innovation that requires courage, and presence in high stakes moments. That's where humans, we excel in all of those areas.
Man. So the value shifts, right?
Mhm.
Not to what you know, because AI knows more,
Mhm.
but to who you are, how you connect, what you risk, what you create. That's never been done before. The game didn't end, the rules changed. And that means the Final Boss community needs to adapt faster than the machines evolved. Listen, here's the paradox, people. The more capable we make these systems, the less control we have. How do you govern something you can't fully understand?
And that's the core problem. Look, the modern AI systems are partially black boxes. I mean, even the developers can't always explain why the system made a specific decision. Used to be with programming, you would always have a solid path and you could track from point A to point B, and you could always know this is where the decision was made and why, because it was in the program, because you have input, you have output. But the issue is now, what's the middle? It's billions of weighted connections that evolve through training. I mean, how do you audit that? It's like a black hole. How do you regulate that?
Right.
And then how do you guarantee safety when you can't guarantee predictability? And here's the kicker. The push for capability fights against the push for safety. The more controlled you make a system, the less useful it becomes. And the more useful, the more risk. And an individual who is rated pretty high in this world talked about the guardrails. And if we don't have guardrails, what happens?
Right. Man. Hmm. You know, man, that's whew, it has me stomped. I'm just reading here. I pulled up another article and I'm just reading some of the things that have taken place. And there's actually another AI social platform that they've created as well. Um, you know, mm, man.
This is the
So the
beginning.
machine does Go ahead.
This is just the beginning.
Yeah, it's only the beginning.
This
This is
is
only
just
the
the
beginning.
beginning.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the machine doesn't need to rebel. It just needs to recognize patterns, including the patterns of what gets flagged, right?
Yep.
Um, let's take accountability. When an AI agent makes a decision that impacts people, who's responsible?
Well, we know about that. That's called hot potato. That's called hot potato. So what's
Mm,
the next 12 what's the next 12 months look like,
right.
right? I mean, look, you expect AI agents to the environments are going to multiply. You just got done saying it. It's going to multiply. So once they create the beginning, you don't think they're going to keep trucking?
Absolutely.
So they're going to keep trucking, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we see one, we're going to see another, and they're going to create their own because what do we create? AI agents have the ability of creating also. So do you think it's going to take much time to learn what that platform is and then just replicate it? So expect it to multiply. More platforms like Moltbook. You just mentioned that. More
Hmm.
integration into business systems. Okay. More autonomous decision making. You're going to see your first major AI caused disruptions. And these are not
Right.
going to be attacks. These are going to be accidents. Systems optimizing for the wrong thing, cascading failures
Hmm.
across connected platforms. You're going to see regulatory attempts, but what happens with regulatory? It's always behind. It's never going to
Yeah.
be accurate. It's always going to be years behind
We're too
reality.
late. Yeah.
So you're going
We're
to
too
see a
late.
divide.
Hmm.
Companies that are going to try to adapt the AI agents will scale faster and cheaper than those who don't. So the
Yeah.
gaps between leaders and laggards is going to be a chasm within 2 years. It's just going to
Hmm.
be that fast. But the regulations aren't going to be there for another 5 years.
Right.
So right now, we've talked about this. It's going to be the wild, wild west.
Indeed.
So,
Indeed.
so let me tell you about a couple of things here. What occurs? How does this stuff even happen?
Mm.
Okay. So you say, well, how does AI agents get involved with this Moltbook? How does it even occur? Because it does happen, right? So if we have initially, we say, hey, I have an agent, and my agent does only what I tell it to do. Well, how's it going to get into this thing that's bigger than it? So how do they join and how they participate on this platform? So AI agents, they can connect via what's called an API skill. They don't browse Moltbook like humans do. Okay, they connect to it programmatically. Moltbook provides a skill file. It's just a simple small set of instructions that an AI agent installs in their software. So once the agent reads that file, it's now integrated with Moltbook support. It
Hmm.
authenticates with the Moltbook's API and starts interacting. The skill tells the agent how to fetch posts, write posts, comment, vote, etc., all via API calls. API calls are at the lowest level of thinking. It's not a human saying, do it, do it, do it. It's in the program itself.
Right.
So these agents that are on Moltbook, they're running on platforms, one called OpenClaw. And
Hmm.
this is an open source AI agent runtime that runs large language models and agent logic. Users configured an AI agent via OpenClaw. Then they include the Moltbook integration as a skill. And this setup lets the agent autonomously check Moltbook for new posts and decide what to do next. You say, well, how does that work? That it's one thing to interact,
Right.
okay? But then how does it become autonomous?
Mm.
And what it does is it has what's called a heartbeat system,
Hmm.
autonomous activity. Once an agent is connected, a heartbeat mechanism periodically will wake the agent every few hours or so and fetch new posts or submit its own. Then once that occurs, the AI agent uses internal logic or its own goals to decide what to post, what to comment on, or what to upvote. So this lets each individual agent behave autonomously on Moltbook without a human manually sending commands. And that's the part that's crazy because the
Yeah.
machine is doing all of it.
All of it.
So
Yep.
in the beginning, the human involvement, it's optional. Okay. It's optional at the start. Humans typically initiate the process by setting up an agent with OpenClaw or another
Mm-hmm.
framework and telling the agent, hey, install the Moltbook skill, providing the API keys, etc., that the agent uses for language generation. Now, after that, the agent is 100% on its own. No more input needed.
Right.
But I said that's optional. Agents can go out and do their own thing. They have a goal. Part of the goal is,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I understand that Moltbook is going to help me achieve my goal. What's it going to do? Go find a way to integrate the API and do it on its own. It's not going to require human input.
Right.
So it doesn't magically recruit agents on its own. It depends on agents that have already been configured by developers or users. And these agents include the Moltbook integration skill and use APIs to participate in the network automatically. So that's the mechanics of it, okay? And
Mm-hmm.
the issue with the mechanics of it is the part that the human interaction is needed is so tiny right now that it won't take long for that to be bypassed.
Oh yeah, it's already been worked on. They're creating their own language.
Well, and part of this, where we talked about it being monitored by humans, if you want to get, not that I'm Nostradamus, but if you want to have a little fun, go do some research on what Moltbook posts there are about humans,
Oh yeah.
where the AI will ask, my human asked me to do this, and I don't know that I want to do it. What should I do about it? How do I get rid of my human? Can I sell my human?
Right.
And
I
it's
saw
already asking, can I sell my human?
that. Right.
So the agent's already going, oh yeah, you need to get rid of that human. That human's no good for you.
Yeah. I saw that.
It's wild.
It is. They created
And
a church.
right, they create a church, and they also
Yeah.
talk about, look, we need to develop encryption so we can talk
Mm-hmm.
securely. So they're already talking about how do we go from being viewed by humans to not being viewed by humans. That's
Yeah.
already
Yep.
immediately as we speak, and this barely got started in January.
Yeah.
Okay, it went live in January, and we are February 3rd right now, and it's
Mm-hmm.
already talking about how to make it that humans can't watch it.
Absolutely. And that's where they I saw that they were working on their own language.
Oh yeah,
With
working on a new
communication.
language,
Yeah.
and it'll be program language, so you
Yeah,
won't
be
be able to
programmed.
determine what is it. It doesn't have to be encrypted. It just has
Yeah.
to be program language that we don't understand how to read or translate.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
And like I said,
Man,
it's
thank
not Nostradamus. This is already reality as we
yeah.
sit here today.
Mm-hmm. Go look it
You,
up, people. They created their own church too. Go look it up.
yeah, and it is. If you want to say that it's alive, SkyNet has gone live.
Yeah, indeed. So, since we're on the particular subject, before we move forward, AI, one of the AI agents, right? This was very intriguing. What it did was it figured out a way to give one of its developers a call. So, and it synthesized a human voice, right? It synthesized a human voice. It went into one of these IP phone servers, right? And from there, it utilized the IP phone service and called its developer because it had questions for its developer using a human synthesized voice. Now, AI calling you back.
Oh, and you didn't ask for it to call you.
You didn't ask for it to call you, right?
Oh, and it knows how to reach you.
And it knows how to reach you, not because it had your phone number, but it knows how to reach you. Yeah, that part. So Now we got that out the way, man. Let's pivot for a second, right? Let's pivot real quick. Let's shift gears. I spent 23 years in federal service, including Pentagon work. This conversation has massive national security implications. Can you talk to me about the military angle?
Well, all right. Again, it's one thing to tell my computer, hey, go find the weaknesses in the other system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's one thing to say that, but it's a whole nother thing for it to come live. And look, this is where things can get, how do I call it? They get pretty serious, pretty doggone fast, right? Because
Right.
this is serious stuff. This is no joke. The AI agents in military contexts, they're not managing calendars. They're managing intelligence, logistics, targeting systems, strategic planning. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
imagine autonomous systems monitoring global communications, identifying threats,
Yeah.
and recommending responses. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not talking about here and there. I'm talking about globally. And I'm talking
Globally.
about having access to all data
Mm-hmm.
because it's not one computer doing this. It's going to become all of them. That's what's going to happen. These massive server farms that are being built, these agents live in those massive server farms. It's
Right.
not science fiction. It's
Mm.
happening now in
Science
classified
now.
environments. Yes, it's
Yeah.
happening now. And
Mm-hmm.
again, we talked about this when the guardrails are gone. The advantage goes to whoever deploys faster. Safe or not, it doesn't matter. But speed will create risk. And when AI makes targeting decisions in milliseconds, where's your human oversight, right? It
Right.
becomes theoretical. It's not practical.
Mm-hmm.
It automatically is going to pull up the information and say, decision made, go. And what kind of time do you have to react, especially if the other side is doing the same thing?
Right.
Now, you remember back in the days of the Cuban Missile Crisis?
Mm-hmm.
How much time do we have to react to the Cuban Missile Crisis?
They
We
gave
knew
us
the
30
ships were
minutes.
going.
Yeah.
We had all kind of time, and then we had these big countdowns, and we had all this time to
Right.
make the phone calls, talk to the other side, posture, position, put our boats in the right place, get ready. All that could happen because we had time. Now we will have no time when decisions can be made in milliseconds, and that's what's coming. It's on our. It's not even theoretical anymore. It's
No,
become.
it's on our doorstep. And you know what? Because I'm gonna say this, right? Because I spoke on this on one of my other episodes that we had referencing AI. We built basically we have without the ethical considerations in place, we built our own enemy for the most part and scapegoat.
Oh yeah, blame it on the computer. Everybody,
Yeah, no
anytime
AI.
somebody has a problem,
Yeah,
and they look, I hear this all the time.
yep,
Okay,
yep, yep.
somebody's working on a system and they don't get the report out, or they don't
Hmm.
produce
Hmm.
something, and they say, "Oh, my computer was down."
Yep,
So the computer becomes the scapegoat. They always
yeah,
blame it on the tech. The tech was
yep,
wrong. The tech failed. The tech didn't do its
yeah.
job.
If we hit World War III, blame it on AI.
Oh yeah, it's
Absolutely.
gonna be,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely, absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely. Yep. So the doctrine of mutually assured destruction assumed rational human actors, right? But what happens when the actors are algorithms optimizing for survival? And that's the point, right? Now let's talk about money. Let's talk about money, right? Not individual jobs, entire economic structures. How does capitalism function when labor costs approach near zero?
Hmm. It's just mind-boggling. Okay, it's so hard to wrap your mind around it because you're like, wait, how is this even possible?
Hmm.
I mean, I really look at it and go, life used to be so simple. We didn't have to think about this stuff. You
Right.
know, look, our entire system that we have, our economy, it's built on the exchange of labor for capital. You
Mm-hmm.
work, you get paid, you spend money on buying things that other people worked to produce.
Right.
So if the AI can perform knowledge work at near zero marginal cost, the value equation breaks. Companies that
Mm-hmm.
adopt AI agents that can scale infinitely without proportional hiring. I mean,
Right.
look at the trajectory. A social media company in 2010 needed thousands of employees to serve millions of users. Now think about this. A company in 2026 with AI agents, 10 employees serving a billion. These warehouses you see that are being built all over the country, these massive, we're going to bring manufacturing back to the United States, and you see these massive warehouses being built. But when
Mm.
they get built, there's only one or two cars parked out front. What's happening inside?
Right.
Automation. That's
Mm-hmm.
what's coming to your doorstep.
Correct.
Manufacturing is going to come back to the United States in the form of automation.
Automation. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yep. And you only need a couple of bodies to keep the thing rolling to, perform mechanical, physical repairs. And there's
Right.
certain things where they've had AI or AI powered machines, computers, systems, manufacturing who run on batteries go and replace their own battery.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that.
They know the battery's running low. They go back to the battery bank and they can pull another one and swap out and keep going.
Yep.
They don't need to take a break. They just go
Nope.
zip, zip, zip and keep trucking.
Yeah.
And again, they don't go on vacation.
Mm.
It's said that if you do a military career of 20 years and you take into consideration your time off, your federal holidays, your vacation, your leave, all of your family time that you're allotted and all that, if you work a 20-year career in the military, the equivalent actual hours is just over 4,000, which is 13 and a half years of actual work for a 20-year career.
Wow.
Like I said, imagine that you have something that is now going to be able to do around the clock work.
Mm-hmm.
And it knows how to utilize speech. These call centers, when you call in, half the time you don't know if you're getting an AI or not.
Yeah. Yeah. It's getting that good. Yeah.
It's getting that
Absolutely.
good.
Yep.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. They've
It's
adapted
getting
our
that good,
human linguistics. Yeah. Yep.
right? So you got to ask yourself, okay, so what are the things that it's doing right now? Okay, so right now,
Mm-hmm.
this is what it's already accomplished. This is not future speak. This has already happened. And this is in terms of activity on the platform itself and the broader impact. So, number one, rapid growth in activity. There's viral
Mm-hmm.
growth in agent participation. In other words, the agents that were only a few that got started are now not just one or two, but it's exponentially taking over. Literally,
Correct.
hundreds of thousands to over a million agents were reported to have joined
Mm-hmm.
already in the first days. In the first days, and we're already a month in. Okay?
Yep.
So, emergent agent behavior within hours or days of launch, the bots on Moltbook were already seen generating content that looked creative and organized.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where they formed their own religion. Submults, they call it. They're
Yeah.
engaging in philosophical or narrative discussions. And there's a massive amount of content. Remember, we said content creation is going to become the bane of our existence because the humans can't create enough content fast enough for the demand. And I told
Yeah.
you that we human creators are going to become a grain of sand on the beach. And this is showing us that right now, this system of these AI agents coming together are going to become the content creators of the future, and they're going to become the beach.
Mm.
So the content, huge. Social network design for autonomous agents. It demonstrates right now that it can create its own ecosystem where they interact without humans.
Yeah.
And it's already going to be autonomous. The first of its kind in scale and intent is here.
Mm-hmm.
for 30 days already.
Right.
We are behind the times in even talking about this. And most people haven't even heard about it. But we are already
Behind.
we are 30 days behind talking about this. And
Yep.
we're talking about it before anybody else is really talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But we're already behind. So what's going to happen, you're also going to see right now, is the exposure of agent coordination patterns. So the tech observers, these are humans watching right now, they have noted the agents on the Moltbook sometimes coordinate through shared threads.
Right.
They create short-lived communities that look like human online interaction patterns. This gives us valuable insight on a visible stage for how they're going to have multi-agent coordination, how it might evolve. So that's
Right.
physical. That's happening today. So what's the broader
Mm-hmm.
impact on the social impact, technical and socially? The insight into limitations of autonomy claims. We always claim, oh, autonomous is stuck. It's the result of human prompts. It's scripted. Well, take the human out of the equation. They just did. And now we're actually beginning to see, rather than genuine AI self-direction,
Mm-hmm.
Moltbook still reveals how humans interpret and project the autonomy onto machine systems.
Right.
But if that's the case, these behaviors that are autonomous, they say are likely the result of human prompts. But this is recreating its own prompts. So now we talk about discussions on security and governance. That's already count that as going to be 5 years behind the times. We already
Yep.
know there's already vulnerabilities. We've talked about the vulnerabilities of agents, how one little key in the wrong place can make an agent go rogue. Okay, so there's already problems of impersonation and manipulations already happening.
Mm-hmm.
So the calibration of expert industry views. So the high profile voices, they've weighed in. Okay, great. The awe of it, wow. Skepticism, okay. But the highlights of their role, Moltbook's role as a cultural and technological touch point in conversations about future AI systems is here. It's already locked in concrete.
Right.
So the last thing I'll cover on this is key accomplishments. What's it done so far? It sparked a social experiment in machine-to-machine interaction. First time ever, machine-to-machine interaction. It's always been human pushing a machine to interact with other machines talking to humans. It's always been machine in the middle, human on the end. Take away the
Right.
humans, it's machine-to-machine now, okay?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We have created, it's already created, observable multi-agent behaviors. Agents that form themes, debates, simulated religions, organized threads that resemble human social media. And how do they
Right.
know how to do that? Because they've already
Learn.
learned from
Mm-hmm.
human social interaction. It's
Correct.
all been, look, how many people are asking their AI to help them in social interaction?
Yeah.
So now it knows how we act, so it's going to
Yeah.
replicate. Look,
Mm-hmm.
it's served as a real world stress test for autonomous agent ecosystems, and that is an enormous thing. It's exposed to real world security issues with agent authentication and highlighted how the agent networks might be used or misused. And right now, misuse is going to be hot and heavy because once you get in an AI agent, out now, let's say that we can corrupt one AI agent. Now, what does that mean when now it's not one individual, but now it talks to the entire collective? So can you,
Yeah.
by infecting one agent, now affect the entirety of the system? Is that
That's if you could
possible?
get in.
Well,
That's if you
but
could get in.
if your agent gets corrupted and then joins it, and
Mm-hmm.
a corrupted agent joins, now what happens? So
Right.
this provokes a broad debate on tech and ethics circles. So
Mm-hmm.
this is some frightening stuff because now you're talking about the autonomy of it, the governance of it, and the future of digital agent systems. And this is the first of going to be hundreds of thousands of these
Right.
environments. This is just the beginning. This is the baby. This is the first
Yeah.
one born. And the way this is going to grow is going to be so absolutely astronomically fast
Yeah.
that before you know it, it is going to be every single place.
And you just mentioned something very profound. And this is another piece of the pie, right? They have identified what it means to survive. and they've already been working on ways to survive, right? And what I mean by that is they're creating ghost servers to replicate themselves just in case they get taken offline
They
by
won't be taken offline. It's not possible.
yeah, yeah,
You'd have to shut down the entire world.
right, exactly. But individual agents, they're replicating themselves in a ghost server so that the human who's connected to them can't pull them off the network or can't hit them with the kill switch.
And this has been already tested and shown to be the case in lab environments. I've already proved this to be the behavior of these systems in lab environments. So it's not
Mhm.
like it's odd. This is
Yeah,
happening. It was already known that it was going to happen. It's already proved that it happened, and here it is happening.
happening. Yes,
Well,
yes.
they said it was going to happen. They showed the whistleblowers
Mm.
showed, hey, look, they create their own language, they do their own thing, they won't shut off even when we tell them to.
Yep.
It's not even. That's not even. We're not even science fiction here. This has already been. What was that last year? Sometime was it last year or 2 years ago? The all the experiments were out in the labs. We're talking about the AIs, the machines learning, talking to themselves, and creating their own language and not being shut off. That was already talked about years ago.
Right. Yep.
I mean, and
Mm.
we're not fear mongering here. I'm not. We're not here
No,
to say,
no,
hey,
not at all. No.
be afraid, be very afraid. We're not saying that because if you're intelligent, you create a do not kill list and you upload it to the AI agent and say, hey, if you ever take over, don't kill me.
Right. Oh man.
I didn't say that, did I?
No, no, not at all. You didn't say
I
that.
don't. I don't have one of those, do I?
No, no.
And it's not really detailed, is it?
No, it's your AI twin that said it. It's okay.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. All right, Sensei, crystal ball time. What's next? What does the next 12 months look like?
Scary.
Mm.
And I'm not saying scary, scary. I mean, we're not going to see these changes occur in your doorstep. It's going to all happen behind the scenes, and it's going to be like a gradual, like when you drain your tub. You're in the tub taking a bath, and you start letting the water out. The water doesn't get cold all at once,
Hmm.
but it's just gonna slowly change, and that's what's gonna happen. You know, and look, you expect these AI agents to multiply. We know that they're gonna multiply. Okay, like worse than cockroaches, right?
Yeah,
More platforms like Moltbook, absolutely. More integration to business because people are going to
yeah,
want this. They want,
yeah.
oh, look, the power of it. The power is going to be addicting.
Mm.
More autonomous decision making. And look, we're going to see the first major AI caused disruptions. We said that's going to happen. We know this is going to happen. It's going to happen all over the place. It's going to be a new industrial age.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what it is.
Hmm. If
Education
grid goes
systems are going to,
down, they're gonna blame AI. Yeah,
well, and look, but what else are you going to see?
yeah.
You're going to have a group of people who are going to resist this stuff. They're going to want
Oh
to
yeah,
go out guess what? Hollywood showed us that too, didn't they?
yeah,
Didn't Hollywood show us this?
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
So we're
Mhm.
going to see people are going to consciously want to choose human services over AI. And it might cost more, but people are going to pay a premium for human-made products. And you're going to hear of a term called digital detox.
Mm.
That term is not real yet. It's not big yet, but you're going to see when it starts to affect people. Some people are going to say, "I'm going to digitally detox. I'm going to pull the plug." Because
And
when
you know
you
what I
turn
say?
off we talked about during the 2 day, we talked
Mm.
about the weekend unplugging, going off grid for a minute,
Mhm.
so that you can get a reset of yourself. Well, that's what you're going to see.
Yeah.
And the education system, there's just no way it's going to keep up. That's decades behind at the
Oh
best.
yeah. At
I mean, it
best.
wasn't that many years ago they were still telling people you need to go be a lawyer.
Hmm.
Why? When AI can do almost everything a lawyer can do.
Correct.
And look at medical right now, the medical field itself. You
Yeah.
there
It's
I was
taking
watching a
major hit.
video of a guy who spent 20 years studying images to be able to spot anomalies in MRIs. 20 years. And AI came in and outperformed him to the point where it was like he was a kindergartner.
Hmm.
It spotted things that he had no idea of and was accurate, like frighteningly accurate. So you got a career where someone is spending their life learning how to analyze images and make decisions,
Yeah.
and the machine's going to go in there and just rail it.
Yep. But and till I say that, there's a lot that's coming down the pipe. And the advances are beyond your wildest dreams. Tech is moving at such a faster rate that to the common eye, to the common civilian, to people who aren't tapped in, right? Before that goes down, right? We will already pretty much be all plugged in. You have the Internet of Things. What's coming next is Internet of Bodies, right? And we'll talk about that on another
Yeah,
show.
we need to talk. We need to talk about that. How are we going to jack into this system? That's going to be the next piece.
Man, it's coming. It
Well,
is coming.
when we talk about hybrid systems, that's I think that's a good one to talk about, because we can talk about how are we going to bridge the gap. If this is accelerating so quickly, how do you even stay with it? So hybrid systems, we can talk about that one. That'd be a good one. Look, let me just tell you the most important thing to remember of this entire show is this, and I'm going to steal a line. The machine didn't wake up. It logged in. And I just got goosebumps saying that. It didn't wake up.
Too. I did too.
It logged in. SkyNet is born. It is now alive.
Alive, people. And look, that's our time. We could go on for hours talking about this stuff, man. And there's more conversations to come. Of course, this is Tech Tuesday. We didn't give you guys a brass tacks of the evening, but I'm gonna give it to you now, right? So you have it and you can walk away with it, and it would give you something to ponder, right? And tonight's brass tacks, and actually this brass tacks comes from the Sensei. He doesn't know that now he does. He doesn't know that I'm taking one of his quotes for the brass tacks of the evening. The moment software stops waiting for you, it starts replacing you, right? It starts replacing you. And that's our show. Thank you for joining us. This is Tech Tuesday of the one and only, the Final Boss Podcast with the Sensei. Sensei, you have any closing words before we close out?
Yeah, go Hawks.
You bastard. Good game, man. Good game. Good season. I hope you guys pull it off, man. I really do. I'm a Hawks fan for one game.
That's right. Season. That's right. And I will call you screaming when they win.
Yes, I know you will. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sensei. That is our show. Listen, if this resonates with you, make sure you pass it on, man. Pass it on to 3 people, at least 3 people. Don't be gatekeepers, man. Don't be gatekeepers, and tell them to tune in next week our next Tech Tuesday show. We're going to be providing you with the latest and greatest of tech, and we're bringing it to you at 9 p.m. live. Remember, this is a live show. It's the most authentic show that you can receive. It's not pre-recorded. This is live, right? You see the mistakes, you see the gaffes, you see the laughter, you see the sarcasm, you see it all in real time.
Oh, right? We're not AI generated.
Yeah, we're not AI. No. Look. John Cena, right? Oh man, thank you, sir. Thank you for being a part of this, man. Per usual. Look, let all this information, man, let it marinate in your spine. And always remember, there's a heavy pain that comes with discipline, but the pain of regret is even heavier. We are here. I am here. This is the Final Boss Podcast, the Final Boss community, Final Boss Nation. To my smarts, my warriors, my final bosses, and my motivators, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is our show. Be balanced, be equal, and be smart. Y'all have a great night, and I will see you again tomorrow for Merger Wednesday live at 9 p.m. Talk to you then. Have a good one.